Hello and welcome back to All Shades of No. This is the third video in the series Finding Your It and Staying with It. In our two previous videos, we talked about finding your it. The second video, we talked about building your it. And now we're going to be talking about staying with it. So now that I know it, and now that I have developed it, what do I do with it? Sit tight. That is what we are going to be talking about in this video. It's good to have you here once again, and if you did not follow up with our previous videos, please, you can always check it out, and so you can, flow with us and get the hang of everything. So let's dive straight into it. So what does staying with it entail? Now, this is talking about experience and visibility. It is not just enough to know, what you want to do and how you want to do it. It is important to be able to do it. Yeah. It's possible to know it, even know how, but still have nothing to show for it. So, we're going to go into, even as I am a student, still on the campus. Even if you are done with school, right? How do I make my it work for me? So, we're going to start with work experience and volunteering. And then you wonder, there's this thing that people do. It's like, I'm still a student, I'm still in the university, I'm focusing on my education. Yes, it is important to do all of that. But even while that is going on, it is still possible to gain work experience. Ask me how. Yes, I'm going to tell you how. Now, work experience is not, when we say work experience, we are really thinking, somebody must have employed me, I should have worked with somebody or in a certain industry to be able to say, oh, I've worked 2 years here, I've worked 6 months here, and all of that. Once you discover that you are a fresh graduate from university, you literally just graduated, just finished NYSC, and then you're applying for a job and then they're asking for 5 years experience. You hold you are applying for anyone. I don't understand. They said you should go after school to get a job. So where was I supposed to get the work experience? But a lot of recruiters, right, when they say 5 years experience, it's good if you can actually count it on your fingers. Yes. But then where do you work to get this work experience? One thing that they are actually asking for, it may not be all, but one thing that they are definitely asking for, 5 years work experience. You do know it's possible to work, and the experience you have, the kind of situations you face while working in that particular industry or in that particular area or that particular job is equal to someone who has worked for 5 years. Yeah, it's very, very important. So, this means that you are going to have to learn to maximize your experiences while in school. That's the key word. While in school. So that by the time you are done, you can say, okay, if you see a role, then you're asking for 5 years of experience, you're not going to lie, of course, and say that you have worked for 5 years. But you have evidence to show that whatever someone who will have worked for 5 years probably knows, I do too, and I can give it a shot. So let's go right into it. The first way that this is very, very possible is when it comes to work experience. Do not belittle your day-to-day experiences as a student. Check for the relevance of your talent or skill in your current course of study and refine them to fit in and be relevant in those areas. Learn to tie your life experiences to work experience. I'm going to give an example. For the course I studied, and a lot of what is going on in university nowadays, we are usually given assignments, right? And sometimes they're in form of projects. Maybe you have to build something, you have to work as a team, come together and do something. Now I realized that every time we had a project to work on, and we usually had multiple of them, I usually took on roles that when I list out, okay, what I did for the group or what I did for the team, I can call myself, I can say that I functioned in the capacity of a project manager. Now, in your class, there are those people that they are the organizers. We know that, okay, if they give us a group assignment, once you have this person on your team, the person might not even do the work themselves, like the heavy lifting, but they just have this ability to organize everybody and make sure that everybody does what they are supposed to do, and you are able to deliver those assignments in good time and with the results that you are looking for. There are those people that, oh, for instance, when there was a project we worked on where we built a website, and what did I mean? I'm a writer, so I took care of web content. What are the things that are supposed to appear on the website? In fact, what we called the service, what was our tagline, what is the content that's going to go on the web, okay, what do we call this page, what do we put here, how do we describe this, what is our about, that kind of thing. I put all of that together and incorporated it on the website. Now, there was also the project we worked on where there was the back end development part of it, there was the front end, there was the networking aspect of it, there was the infrastructure aspect of it, where, okay, you actually couple items together. Like I said, I'm interested in networks. I'm a network engineer, cloud engineer. I took care of that aspect. I don't know if you're seeing it the way I'm seeing it. So those things that you do in school from day to day, what are you? You are the class rep. You have experience in leadership and administrative roles, right? You are often the group leader for assignments. You have experience as a team leader, as a project manager. Within that group, when you are doing assignments, you are you are usually the one that proofreads, edits, and put together everybody else's train of thought, compiles it, and makes it the document that is submittable, that can be submitted. Do you understand? You have your own part. There are those people that they do the research. Okay, when it comes to this thing, I discovered that this is that, this is how people are doing it. I think this is how we do it. You're a researcher. Look, you cannot belittle the day-to-day experiences that you have as a student. So, take your assignments and your projects seriously. When you are asked to do work, do it with all of your heart. And by the time you do that for 4 years, you can say, if you deliberately position yourself each time as a project manager, you can say that you have worked with multiple teams, and put together and manage talent and whatever it is to come up with, you know, deliverables and just help people achieve results in general. You have experience leadership roles and all of that. Those people, because really think about it, people that want to go into politics later in life, they take things like SUG and SRG seriously, so that they can now come out and say, oh, okay, I have contested and been elected for so and so position. This is what I achieved. This is what I do. So why can't you do that for your future, for your career, for your job? If you are interested in photography, whenever there is a gathering in school or in class, you can, capture moments, take pictures, so that you can have something in your portfolio on your page to say, okay, I covered Susan, I've covered this number of events, this kind of events, and things like that. Do you write? You can write about your experiences. You can take your, research and those projects seriously. Make sure that you can document it properly, and just basically find work experience in everything that you do. Now, that is on the part of your academics. Secondly, we have volunteer work. Now, this happens when you render your skill set as a service to individuals, groups, bodies, or organizations at no cost. This builds your social standing as well as gives you a head start on getting experience. It's hard to turn down free work, especially nowadays. Now, do not be afraid to work for free. And as a student on campus, honestly, you do not have to go very, very far. There are associations in your school, even lecturers. If you do your research or you decide to put aside how annoying some of your lecturers are in class, you remember that they are human beings, right? A lot of them actually have businesses they run, second jobs or different other jobs that they do. And these people need help. Now imagine you walk up to one of your lecturers and you say, "Sir, I found out, I discovered that you own a food processing company, or you make feed, maybe for poultry or for fish or something like that, and I'm very interested in this kind of things. Okay, this is what I can do, this is my skill set. So I would like to help out. I would like to work for you just to gain experience. You don't even have to pay me anything." Oh well, maybe you shouldn't throw that in case the person is willing to pay you. You just, quietly take it. But the point is, even if the person doesn't offer to pay you, you already know that at the back of your mind, what you're going to get from this person is work experience for your future. This is experience for your future. Now, if you do something like this, who knows? You can start a business right out of school. You don't have to start looking for a job and getting to, work with somebody just to learn the ropes. You can do it side by side in school. Go to an association. Okay, I'm good at writing. I see that you have newsletters or you produce magazines yearly. I would like to come in, just, do work on these things for you, put together content, do this, do that. I'm currently studying this, but I have 2 hours every day that I can, dedicate to your organization. And honestly, it's very hard to turn down free work. Very sure a lot of them are okay, give it a shot, especially when it's something that maybe they are not they currently don't have someone on standby that does it very, very well. That kind of thing. You just render your services, and before you know it, you can write. No, nobody cares whether you're a student when you did that work. The point is, you worked it. I worked for so and so organization as a chief editor for. Imagine you started that in 100 level. By the time you are graduating, you can have 2 years worth of experience in two different roles. Or if you decide to focus on one, you will have 4 years of experience in those roles if you are deliberate about it. But if you are at 100 level, it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. The point is, now that you know, start now. So please become okay with working for free at first, but you should always know when you can, stop that and begin to ask for your money's worth. If you get what I mean. Now, after volunteer work, another way is what? Personal projects. I gave an example in the previous video, Building Your It, about a guy who studies agricultural science and is very good with photography. Now, he's not sitting around and waiting for an association to say, "Oh, we are in need of a photographer," or for the National Association of Agricultural Sciences to be putting together a conference and then he'll say, "Oh, I want to come and cover the event." No, he's not waiting for all of that. He gives himself personal projects. He's walking along the street, he sees something beautiful. Maybe they had a class on insects last week, and then he sees this insect, he recognizes it. It's probably even in action, doing some part of its life cycle that nature says it does. And then he's like, "This is interesting." He takes that picture, finds a platform, writes about it, posts it, write about it, just say something fun fact, something that will draw attention to that picture and help people understand why that particular shot is so important. And he doesn't take a picture haphazardly. He's interested in photography. So what? He has the skill, he knows how to put together lighting, composition, the rule of thirds, whatever principles he needs to apply to make that particular picture chef's kiss. And because of that, he can now draw attention to himself. He did not wait for somebody to say, "Oh, I have this project or I'm doing this." He is coming up with personal projects for himself. So you can do the same. Set personal goals for yourself, even in times you don't actively have a place of work. So you choose different aspects of your skill that you want to improve on. You set up a project, you could find some online and work on them on your own. You get experts in that field to mentor you and help you do it. You can reach out to people that are already doing what you love to do. okay, this is what I'm currently doing. I see that you're good at it. And when you're reaching out to them, please have a specific goal. You have to know why you are talking to them. People that are already experts, you can't waste their time, you know. So just reach out to them. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I see that you're doing this. Could you? Is there a way you can help me? Is there some advice you can give me? Is there something? They trust me. They love stuff like that, and they will just, be able to just talk to you pointedly, hit the nail on the head, and they can even start checking on you from time to time. Before you know it, voila, you've gotten yourself a mentor for free. LinkedIn is a very, very good platform to do this. Now, be part of trainings and events that can broaden your understanding and reshape your perspectives. Now, just only doing stuff, that your own mind comes up with, just looking inwardly, your creative juices can even run out. But by the time you find people that are also in that space, attend events, be part of gatherings, see what people are doing, just hear other people's point of view. It will give you, you know, inspiration. It will let you see how, okay, what else can I add to my personal project? Where else can I volunteer? Where else can I work? And things like that. Now, this is a bonus point. Now that you have found a way to stay on it, stay with your it, how do you get yourself ready for being employable or being, starting your own business? This is a bonus point that I would like to tag showing off your it. Because now that you have gathered all of this work experience, you have volunteered with all these people, how do you now be able to tell people, okay, this is what I've done? And I'm going to briefly talk about CV and resume building. Now, first of all, is there a difference between a CV and a resume? Yes, there is. What is the difference? I'm going to put it very, very, very simply. CV is short for curriculum vitae, and it is basically your life in a document. Your life on paper. Yes. Everything that you have ever done professionally, from education to work experience, volunteer work, whatever your achievements have been, in chronological order. Yes, everything about you. So your bio data, professional summary, and then your education from, in fact, I think depending on where that CV is going, even from primary school, very, very important. So that's a CV. But resume is a tailored CV for a particular role. So let's say you are applying for a job as a project manager. You only take experiences and projects or whatever it is you want to include that are relevant to the role of a project manager. You only take those, compile them together in a resume, and apply for that particular role. So for someone like me now, if I was going to be applying for a position as a chief editor, that falls under my experience as a writer, right? I would not now take my certification in DevOps engineering and add it there. It is not of any use to that particular role. So resume is tailored to a particular job description that you are applying for. So your curriculum vitae should be comprehensive, long, and academic focused. It remains static, that is, over time you add to it. As you do achievements, and make a name for yourself, you add to it. So you use a CV when you are applying for an academic, research, or government position. The government will want to know everything about you. And of course, for academic positions, research, all of that, you use a CV. And then, when you are applying for jobs in Europe, the Middle East, or Africa, most times they ask for a CV. But if stated otherwise, you should send in a resume as stated. Now, a resume, like I said earlier, is short, tailored, and job focused. So it is highly customizable, and it is tailored to fit each job by emphasizing the most relevant experience and skills. Yeah. So you don't need to add any unnecessary information. For instance, your full house address, there's no need for that. Now, this is what you should do when you are crafting a CV or a resume. Your name, full name, right, in the government arrangement. Then contact details. then address. And your address should just be, for instance, if you're in Kaduna, just the city you live in, the state, and then the country. That's it. Then, of course, your active phone numbers, email, and very advisably, your LinkedIn profile. Yeah. So, after that, the next thing should be a professional summary, a brief summary that highlights your key skills and your career goals. The next one should be a tailored document where you customize your experiences, your work experience, volunteer work, whatever it is that you have done in the past, your projects, your research, you tailor it to the specific job description. Remember to keep it clear and concise. Go straight to the point. Don't tell too many stories. Don't be too dramatic. It should be memorable, but not overly dramatic. Now, next, use action-oriented language. For instance, I developed. You should clearly mention your contributions to whatever job role, work experience, or project that you are currently talking about. Yes. Then you highlight your achievements. Instead of listing your responsibility, I was responsible for this. Let's say, for instance, you were a teacher, you were a teaching assistant. Instead of just saying, I took so and so subjects, I taught so and so number of students, you say what that particular responsibility, what you're able to achieve with it. For instance, I increase students' understanding of computer basics and practicals by so and so percent, improvement in results by so and so percent, um, handwriting was improved in children of so and so grade depending on where you taught. So you can see that even with teachers, basically you need to use metrics to measure your achievement to make it, you know, so that they can know that, okay, if you employ this person, this is what they can do for us. Now, optimize for application tracking system. Incorporate those keywords that were in the job description, those things that they want you to be able to achieve for them. Incorporate it when you are, describing your work experience or describing your achievement, so that what you're offering matches up with what they are looking for. Then use professional formatting. Make sure that someone, goes through it and edits it for you, format it, or gives you their own, professional opinion. And then use professional fonts like Times New Roman. It shouldn't look, too dramatic, no over editing, no too much decoration here and there. It should just be clear and very, very legible. Then proofread thoroughly. Errors can undermine your credibility. Always review your documents for grammar, punctuation, and spelling mistakes. By the time you begin to spell your keywords wrongly, I, as a recruitment officer, will believe that you are biting more than you can chew and you don't even understand the meaning of the words that you are writing down in your CV resume. So make sure nobody's above mistakes. Even if there would be errors, because you can't see everything, there shouldn't be unnecessary errors everywhere. No matter the job description, one thing that is important is clear communication in both written and oral language. So show, prove to them with your CV or your resume that you are indeed educated. So now, I believe that by the end of this series, you have found your it, you have learned to build it, you are staying with it, and you know how to show it off. Once again, my name is Hepzibah Gula Kogi. Whatever questions you have, you can always leave them down in the comments. Anything that you would like me to explain further, make more videos on, expatiate on basically, we can always discuss and communicate in the comments. It's so nice to have you here. I wish you a very, very wonderful experience as a student, and even if you have graduated, I hope that after going through this series, life becomes so much more clearer and so much more interesting, even as you find and stay with it. Thank you, and see you in the next one.